Dihessa, did you always know how to sell? Or did
No,
you? Okay.
no, no. The answer to that question is definitely not. Although when I
So,
think about it, like my youngest son, for example, he's really good at sales from when he was 3 years old. Really? When I think about it, because he's a kid that, like, even at 3 years old or 4 years old, will tell you, you should do this for me because it's good for you. Like that. You should, mommy, you should do this for me because it's good for you. Okay? Yeah.
but how is it? That's very interesting. Do you think a good salesperson is someone creating a win-win situation?
Oh, yes. I think actually a good salesperson is a person who, for me, when I look at a sales call, for example, it's a call where I get in there simply to see what is it that the person wants, and am I capable of getting them what is it that they want. That's all there is to it, in my humble opinion. And then in return, of course, if I'm giving them what they want, then I get paid what I want, what I choose to get paid. Yeah,
And how did you learn how to sell?
that's a good question. How did I learn how to sell? Obviously, like I've done some marketing courses, trainings here and there, but at the end, like, even though I don't really get on a lot of sales calls now, at the end, for me, when I started really being good at sales, is when I get on a call, just like I said earlier, and I really focus on what does this person really want? What is it that they want? Which means really having a conversation, and then, like, I think about, oh, how can I really, like, quote unquote, help this person get what she wants? And then there's also the whole part of really communicating that to the person so that they know that yes, like, there's a possibility for that to change for them, and here is how it can change for them. Yeah, that's very. I used to do that. I'll get on a call and I'll pretty much coach the person instead of just, yeah, like, literally. It's like, like, almost never is that a win. It's like, in my opinion now, like, the way that I look at it is what ends up happening is the person believes, which rightly or wrongly, I don't know, that, oh, she just gave me this thing, I'm going to go and then implement it and then do it for myself. But a lot of the times they are not able to, because, like, so how I look at it now, I think for me what changed is that I realize actually it's not doing them any service, actually, for me to do that. And so, like, I really started refraining from that a lot, and just really, really going to the, like, the key point, which is, what is it, like, what's the problem, what's happening with you right now, what do you want, like, how do you want it to change, and it's like, and then, like, how I can help you, or how my work can actually make it happen for you.
But that's very interesting because you say, I can give the best information to someone on a sales call,
Yeah,
and they won't succeed with it.
most of the
So,
time. Yeah, most of
yeah,
the
but
time. Yeah,
why? Why? Because what does
yeah.
that mean? It means that we have to pay to change. It means that information is not the solution. What is it?
I believe information alone is not the solution, because, like, we all know now, like, information is readily available everywhere. Like, it's not the issue, right? It's like the implementation, the doing it, the the yeah, implementation, doing it, the transformation itself, what needs to happen, right? What The things that we don't know, that's key. Like, a lot of the times for me, uh, like, it's true, right? It's like, unless you've created one thing, right? You don't know the things that you don't know until you get there, which is one of the conversations we were having in Unity actually this week as well. when I talked about what was I talking about? I was talking about like falling and being able to get back up, like something along the line. And then one of the participants said, which who again was going through her like incredible growth, and she's like, I never understood it until now. Like I've heard you say it many times, but it's not until I'm in the midst of it right now that it actually makes sense to me, right? Like, and even for me myself in my growth, I've experienced that. Like, there are certain things you don't know until you get there, right? Like, you can hear it 10,000 times, but it won't register until you are going through, and you'll be like, oh, this makes sense now. You know, it's kind of like that. There's a lot of things that I didn't know.
Okay,
It's
top
not
three.
it's not just one thing. You can even go
Uh,
back to the structure, you can go back to sales, you can go back to money. For me, money was a big one, because you know, it's like my mind was wrapped up around the whole idea of, okay, like you know, it's like you know, like money and spirituality don't go together, all these, you know, all these things. But you know, it's like you're not aware until you're aware. You know, you're not aware until like it happens. And then a lot of that for me personally, it's like some of these awakenings have been like very like it's like through painful experiences, you know. Like I think for me one of the big ones was when I first started, um and I put a lot of my value in what other people saw or said about me, you know. And I didn't realize that. Like a lot of these things you don't realize until you're like, oh shit, this is what I've been doing. Oh my god, like this is what, even though like intellectually you think, oh, this is how it is, and then you're going through it and you're like, oh no, that's not what it is inside of me. You know, like putting your value in other people's, you know, it's like until like they like you, then they don't like you. And then it's like, oh my God, what's happening? You know, like one day you like the savior, and then the other day you like the devil, kind of like that. So that's one process that was kind of like quite painful for me, and like a lot of things, like
and do you think we can make thousands of sales if we are giving too much value to other people's opinion?
yeah, because it's open ended. Like I think the way my brain works is like there's never any impossibility, right? It is
Mhm.
possible. Is it possible that somebody who like put their value in other people like still make a lot of money? That's possible, right? Is it also like possible that putting your value in other people's like opinion of you is putting some sort of like a delay, or like, yes, I absolutely believe that, because if you live your life, or even if you run your business from the perspective of, you know, like they like me when I do this, it's like other people are running the show, like other people are running your show, like who's, and even worse than that, like your life will be something else. If, do you understand what I mean? It's like I don't want to live my life like that. I don't want to live my life based on do they like me or do they not like me. I want to live my life in do I like myself, you know? Yeah.
But how did you do that process of coming back to what you want and detaching from other people's
People's
opinion?
opinion of me.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
actually, that process was a little bit painful. And it was like kind of like a two or three steps, right? At first, what ended up happening at first was, okay, uh, I went into this whole space of, I don't care what you think about me anyways. I'm going to build this wall. I'm going to build this wall, and I don't care. You can say whatever. It works, right? It works. But unfortunately, like it really creates a wall between me and other people. It created a wall between me and other people. And it created a wall between me and me. That was the worst part. Because like you have to kind of shut down. I had to shut down, kind of to protect myself. Like I went into protecting more. I was like, this is my goal, this is my vision. I'm not going to let anybody stop me from doing it. Right. And the only it was basically like a survival mode. The only way I can do this is I have to not care about what other people think about me, right? And then that did not work. It's like I could feel it. I could feel that this is not how I want to live. I could feel like it's creating a separation between me and myself. That was the most painful one. It's like every time it was chipping away to my own connection to myself. And I was like, no, that's not how I want. That's not how I want to live. And like even for me, like I'd realize this. And sometimes when something painful like that will happen, I'll feel it in my body even. I'll feel it in my chest. And like if you like I could feel the energy of it, I'll feel it in my upper back. I'll feel because the more sensitive I became to energy, the more unbearable it became. Right? I could feel the heaviness on my chest. And I'm like, no, I don't want to live like this. And then the next step after that became okay, so if I don't want to live from the perspective of, oh, I don't care about them. This is my vision, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I don't care. But what's the next step? The next step became I actually do care because it's a lie, especially if this is coming from somebody from your family, for example, right? Or it can be somebody from the internet as well, but usually it's most painful when it's somebody close to you. Uh, and you're like, no, like it's painful. Like I'm going to chip away. I don't care. But the truth is, you do care, right? The truth is, I did care. And so I did step into the space of, oh, I actually want to care, right? This is where I am now. I do care, but I will not let the opinion change my vision. I will not let the opinion change who I am. I will not let the opinion derail me from where I decided that I'm going to go. Right? I let everybody deal with their own thing, their own emotions, their own whatever is going on with them, and then I also do me, right? But I still do care. I care, but I won't let it change me.
And how do you do that? Because
That,
if I'm
yeah,
watching you, I'm
yeah,
like, yeah, I want to do that, but
yeah. Yeah. For
how?
me, that's very energetic, actually. For me, that's why, like, even like I started the 90-day thing on the Instagram on Instagram now. The whole point is, and even like when it comes to that, for example, when I talk about like energy, a lot of the times people, and I understand that now, that people kind of misunderstand me, or maybe don't get the whole picture of what I mean. When I'm talking about energy, a lot of people think I'm talking about the physical energy, the energy of like, oh, I have a lot of energy, I'm going to do this. Oh, I don't have a lot of energy, I can't do this. But it's so much more than that. Like when I'm personally talking about energy, I'm talking about the fact that we actually have different energies in our system, right? And so you can look at it from the perspective of yes, your physical energy. You have a physical body. You also have an emotional body. You also have a spiritual body. And so for me, my energy trainings are not just about like my physical body's energy training. It's about like really an integration of my physical body's energy, my emotional body's energy, and also my spiritual body's energy. And so for me, like being able to go from I don't care, and I'm going to do it, and I have an armor, and I'm going to protect my heart. Uh, Going from that to I actually do care, but I also am going to do what I want and what I choose to do. It's all about integrating all these three layers. And for me, that is actually, it doesn't mean that everybody has to do it or that for you to make money, you must do it, right? But for me, that's something that I value because why do I value it? It's literally about, like, call it my soul, I call it my connection to myself. I want to develop both at the same time. I don't want to like grow my business and forget this part of who I am. But at the same time, what I realize, what I've really experienced in my whole entire life, not my whole entire life, since I've been doing this, is that there is a power that you can actually tap into when you integrate these three layers in your life that can literally change your life and also change your business, you know? And that's where I was going with that. You know, it's like, how do you do it? For me, it's very energetic. And so when somebody, for example, when I was sharing being hurt. Like if you are a coach, you can bet you're going to experience a heartbreak in some way or another. Like on the internet, off the internet, with clients, without clients, with potential clients. There's some, so especially if you're not rooted within yourself, and if you are having all these expectations from people in your space, right? I've had heartbreaks that have happened. Right? And so it doesn't mean that if you had heartbreak that you can't grow your business. That's not true. Like you can have a heartbreak, you can also have willpower, still have willpower and do the thing. But my point of view is I don't want to live my life like that. Like I don't want to live my life like that. I want to live my life really deeply connected to myself. And I also want to tap into that power because there is a tremendous power to tap into from that perspective as well. You know, I hope that answers your question. That was
Yeah.
a long way.
No, but I like it.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, do you
Yeah.
teach that in Unity?
I absolutely, that's what Unity is all about. That's why the people in Unity love it because then they really like when they come a lot of the times, like some of them will be like, oh, I wasn't taking action before. Now I actually am taking action. And I always talk about it from the perspective of like fears and doubt and all these things. They're very normal. Like they literally built into our brain. My brain like has a layer that is like a layer of fear. My brain has a layer that is a layer of doubt, and it's normal that we have that. It's normal that we have fear. So fear and doubt are never the issue. The issue is, am I able to to manage the fear? Am I able, despite the fact that there is a fear, am I able to manage it? Despite the fact that there is doubt, am I able to manage it? Right. And so, like in Unity, one of the things that we focus a lot on, and so like what I talk about is it's like there's one energy that really overrides all those energies for you, right? And I call it the energy of my soul. Like the energy of your soul has power, like has like when you activate that energy within you, you can look at fear and be like, oh, I'm afraid, but like I am in charge here, right? I have fear, but I'm in charge here. I have that, but I'm in charge here. Yeah,
But sometimes with spirituality or spiritual person,
yeah,
we have the idea where we have to be perfect. We have to always feel joy and not feel anger or not
yeah.
feel fear or so how do you deal with that misconception
I
or
mean that.
teach like
Yeah.
yeah your client about it?
I mean, they get to experience it. Like, if you're in Unity, if you're my clients, they all know, like, emotions is just literally just energy. It's like the moment it's already generated in your body, there's no point to trying to stop it. There's no point to trying to fix it. It's like it's already generated. You just let it flow. You just let it move through you. Then after that, like one of the things that like a lot of people in my space to utilize this now a lot. Uh, like then you go back, right? Like go back to the essence of who you are, like your soul, like from your soul's perspective, right? Which means connect to that part of who you are, and then ask yourself, what within me created that emotion? Like what within me, what was I believing, or what was the conditioned self me was thinking that is different than what my soul knows to be true, right? Because oftentimes that's what creates the negative emotions. It's like, oh, like at that moment, me, like Dihessa, limited Dihessa, is believing, oh, I'm not capable, for example. And then when somebody says that to me, then I can get mad because in that moment, I believe the person, right? But if I'm connected to my soul part of who I am, and then somebody tells me, oh, Dihessa, you're not capable. And from that perspective, I'm like, yeah, even though I may not necessarily see all the things right now, I know that I'm capable, because there's nothing that is impossible from that point of view, right? Then I don't need to get mad, right? And so for me, it's not a matter of not being angry or not having emotions. It's like normal, right? Because it's also normal process of growth. Yeah,
If I'm your client, let's say
yeah,
I'm very spiritual and I have some fears or some belief that prevent me to be good at selling, because I have some beliefs that salespeople are bad, or I don't know. I want clients, I want to make more money, but I'm like, I don't like sales. I don't like selling. Selling is bad. I have to be aggressive. I have to manipulate, How
Yeah.
I'm your client, what you say to me?
Then I'll say, what will sell, like what will what will selling, like what kind of selling will you do that will feel good to you?
Hmm.
Yeah. Like
So
what
you
will it look
always
like
come back.
for you? For you, what will it look like? What will like a good sales call look like? You know? And like what do you value? If truth is what you value, bring it. If like literally, it's like because at the end of the day, that's what it is, anyways. A sales call is okay. I'm seeing the person in front of me. They want something. Am I able to give it to them? Like literally, if you have a conversation, simple conversation, it doesn't have to be pushy. It doesn't have to be any of that. It's like if I can actually see the person in front of me as just another human being who wants something, and then I can really tap into or like have the conversation that makes me see what is it that they want and know for myself, oh, I actually, if they step into doing XYZ with me, it can change that for them. What do you think, why do you think people don't get what they want? And the answer was actually because they don't know what they want. Because they don't know what they want, right? I feel like it starts there. Obviously, for me, like if you know what you really want, I feel like there's a fire that naturally. Do you understand what I mean? There's a fire naturally that generates you. Like nothing can stop you. Like if you really know what you want, there's this fire that like you want to take action. You just move. It's like like you find like even when you fall, you get back up and you're like, oh yeah, like I'm going to do this. I'm going to try this other thing. I'm going to do this other thing. Right? A lot of the times, like people will say, this is what I want, but it's not. It's like it's kind of lukewarm. It's like it's not. It's kind of lukewarm. It's like there's no passion behind it. There's no. It's like, oh, I want it because maybe it looks good from outside. I want it because maybe it's like that's what other people will say looks good, or that's what other people want from me, or like not truly what do I want, right? And I feel like when you really like when you really put your finger on it, a lot of the time there's that fire that comes along. And I'm not discrediting taking action, but what I'm saying is when you do know what, then a lot of the times you'll do everything in your power to make it happen.